Absolutely. So we are going to be moving around together. So if you are going to be moving with us from home, make sure that you're in a space where you have a little bit of room to stretch out your arms and walk side to side a little bit. You want to make sure you're not going to run into anything. All right, so we are celebrating biodiversity in California by taking a trip from the coast to the desert this morning. We're going to meet a bunch of different animals along the way, and we're going to try out moving like them. I'm going to need to take a few steps back from my camera here so that you can see more of my body. If I'm too small on your screen, that's okay. You can make up the animal movements that you want to do for each animal. All right, so we're going to begin at the coast. So put on your flip-flops because we are heading to my favorite spot, the beach. There are a lot of places in San Diego where the water meets the ocean. You can go visit San Elijo Lagoon, for example. That's one of my favorites, or the Tijuana River estuary. We're going to get started here and see what animals we find. Lauren, can you introduce us to our first animal? All right, so the first one is one of my favorites, which is a gull. So the gulls flap. So we're gonna flap together, they flap and they flap until they find a current of air and then they soar. So we're gonna flap, flap, soar. Flap, flap, soar. And there were some picnickers down on the beach and they left some food. So we're gonna grab their food. And we're gonna flap, flap, soar. Flap, flap, soar. Oh, someone left a bag of chips. We're gonna grab their food. So gulls are big scavengers. They eat whatever they can find. Let's see which animal we meet next. Oh, the fiddler crab. This is a fun one. So the fiddler crab has eyes on stalks on the top of its head. Can you imagine what it would be like if you had eyes up here? Go ahead and put a pair of eyes up here and take a look around. Can you see everything all around you? We're going to move like a crab. Crabs move side to side. So we're going to go ahead and bend our legs. We're going to wake up our legs and we're going to move side to side. Side to side. With our legs bent and awake. Side to side. Something very special about the fiddler crab is it has one giant claw. So let's take our hand and we're going to make a big claw with it. And when the fiddler crab sees another crab, it waves this claw around. So go ahead and wave your giant claw, wake up that arm, say hi to your friend crabs, scare away the crabs you don't want nearby with your giant claw. And then let's do it with the other side. Make a claw, wave it around at the other crabs. We're going to wake up our other arm. Sometimes these crabs, when they're eating, they get a bunch of sand in their mouth. Have you ever had sand in your mouth? It is not fun. So they make a little ball and they spit it out. So we're not really going to spit, but we're going to pretend we're a crab and go. All right, so who is our next animal? Oh, an Segundo blue butterfly. So butterflies are pollinators. These ones pollinate buckwheat. So we're going to be a nice light butterfly. We're going to float and fly around as light as we can. And we're going to land on some buckwheat to pollinate it. And we're going to fly and float as light as we can and land on some buckwheat to pollinate it. All right, who's next? Oh, the great blue heron. Maybe you've seen these in our wetlands before. they stand up very straight and tall. So stand up as straight and as tall as you can. And they have big bills. So let's go ahead and make a big bill with our arms. And they stand up straight and tall and still, but their eyes are looking around in the water until all of a sudden they see a fish and they go down and they grab it and they pick it up with that big bill. So as straight and as tall and as still as you can until you see a fish and you grab it. You grab a fish. My cat thinks I'm playing with him. He's attacking my feet. Makes it hard to stand up straight and tall. All right, let's see who else we've got. Oh, the ghost shrimp. So this shrimp is so cool. This shrimp burrows in the sand. So let's burrow in the sand. Have you ever dug a hole in the sand or a tunnel? We're gonna practice that burrowing in the sand. So you burrow, 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 and poof, some sand falls down. It's blocking your tunnel. What will we do? We are gonna hold our breath. So everyone take a deep breath in, as deep as you can. 1, 2, 3. Whew. Holding our breath for 5 seconds was hard. The ghost shrimp can hold its breath for 6 whole days. So if the sand caves in on it, it is just fine under there. So we're gonna try one more time. Burrow, 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 burrow. Dig, 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 dig. And the sand caves in. We're gonna hold our breath for 5 more seconds. Let's take a deep breath in. Whew. It's hard being a ghost shrimp. All right, so we have met a lot of cool animals. Oh, one more coast animal. So this is the moon snail. The moon snail eats clams and mussels. Does anyone else like clams and mussels? I do. I eat my clams and mussels with a fork, but the moon snail uses a little arm that it uses like a drill. So it takes it and it twists it. It twists it into a shell to make a little hole. Have you ever seen a drill at a construction site? It makes it sound like bzzz. Can you make that sound? Bzzz. You can put your hands on your throat or your cheeks and feel the buzz. Bzzz. So we are gonna drill into a shell. Bzzz. You twist your elbow down towards the ground and up towards the sky. And now let's try it with our other arm. So these moon snails drill into shells, and sometimes you'll actually find a shell with a perfect little hole in it, and you know a moon snail has been there. All right, so we're gonna head east now. So let's go ahead and kick off our flip-flops. And we are gonna pull on our hiking boots. So lift your knee up to your chest, pull on that boot. Other knee up to your chest, pull on that boot. And we're going to head east. We're going toward the chaparral. Take a deep breath in. Do you smell that? That is the smell of all of the plants in the chaparral. They smell so good. All right, let's see what animals we'll find here. So first is the North American raccoon. These are all over San Diego. I wonder if you've seen one before. The raccoons dig in the trash when they're in the city. So we're gonna show them digging for food. The raccoons dig for food. And then the raccoons do something very special with their food. If they can, they'll wash a piece of fruit or a vegetable before they eat it. So we are gonna get down nice and low. We're gonna wake up those legs again. And we're gonna wash our food, and then eat it. Wash our food, and then eat it. Yum. Who is next? The California Bumble Bee. So remember that buzzing we practiced earlier? We're gonna do that again. And we're gonna fly around and pollinate. Pollinating means that the bees land on a flower and they get dust from that flower on their bodies. When they fly away, that dust gets left in other places and it grows more flowers. So we're gonna be a bee who pollinates. So we're gonna fly around and land on flowers. Ready? Being a bee is fun and bees are amazing. You can plant special plants in your garden to help welcome these bees. Here's our next animal, the western scrub jay. So this cute little bird hops around. So we're gonna give some hops. Hop, 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 hop. It also stays still and moves its head around. Move your head from side to side. Move it up and down. Does that feel good in your neck? Side to side, up and down. The western scrub jay sometimes rides on the back of a mule deer. It hitches a ride on top of the deer and eats the bugs that it finds on its back. They are good friends. What's the next animal? Oh, it's time to go to the mountains. All right, we're gonna keep those hiking boots on and we're gonna climb the mountain. Lift those knees up to your chest and we will climb. Get those knees as high as you can. All right, so we're up in the mountains. This is the coolest and wettest part of San Diego. As Southern California gets hotter and drier, these habitats are getting smaller. Let's see who we will find in the mountains. Here's our first animal, the acorn woodpecker. So the acorn woodpecker loves acorns. It picks them up and then it hides them in its holes in the trees. So let's go ahead and make a hole in the tree. We're gonna do that with our beaks, like this. Moving our head back and forth. Can you do it fast to make a big hole? It hides its acorns inside of those holes. Here's the next animal. Here's our next friend. The gray fox. The gray fox can climb trees. It climbs up to find mice in those trees. So let's go ahead and climb a tree. Again, you're gonna lift your knees up as high as you can toward your chest. And you're gonna lift your arms to your gray fox climbing a tree looking for mice. Sometimes these even come near the city. It's possible you'll see one. I've never seen one in the wild. Next, we have another bee. Get your buzz ready. We're gonna go pollinate some more flowers. Buzz. Lauren, is there something that makes the small mining bee special? Something that makes it a little different than some of the other bees we've seen?
Yeah, so in California, actually, a lot of our native bees like to live underground. And these guys, the small mining bee, actually, they use pollen from flowers and make little pollen balls and feed those to their larvae, which is pretty cool. So you might want to try making some pollen balls.
That
Roll
is
them up.
very cool. Let's go ahead and make a pollen ball. Have you ever made a ball out of clay or out of mud or Play-Doh? We're going to try that out. We're going to make a pollen ball for our babies. Have you made a ball like this before? Imagine you're as small as a bee. A pollen ball is pretty big to you, huh? All right, who is our next creature on our journey? Ooh, the alligator lizard. You may have seen these around. You can find them in a lot of different parts of San Diego County. I see them in my backyard all the time. So the alligator lizard scurries. You can get down on your hands and knees for this one. I can't get down because I won't be visible on the computer, but you can scurry along the ground. Scurry, 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 scurry. Scurry, 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 scurry. Scurry, 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 scurry. And sometimes they hide and camouflage themselves in the rocks. Alligator lizards also do push-ups sometimes. So if you're down on the ground, you can do some push-ups. Feels good on your arms, I bet. All right, who will we meet next? Oh, the bobcat. Now, I have never seen one of these in the wild. Have you? These are really hard to spot because they're very, very secretive. They walk and prowl very quietly. So go ahead and try to walk around your space as quietly as you can. Don't make a sound. We're so quiet. I didn't hear anything at all. Bobcat is beautiful. I would love to spot one day. Who do we have next? Oh, we're going to the desert. All right. Put on your sunscreen. The desert is super, super hot right now. You think it's hot here in San Diego? Well, the desert is scorching. So put on a lot of sunscreen. Maybe put on your hat. And we're heading to the desert. The first animal we're meeting in the desert is the Bighorn Sheep. Why do you think it's called that? Oh, the big horns. So we're gonna go ahead and put on our big horns. And these guys are really, really good at climbing rocks. So we're gonna go ahead and climb some rocks. So use those feet, lift those knees, and we're climbing the rocks. Keep your horns up. Both the males and the females have horns, but the males have bigger horns. All right. Now who will we meet? Oh, a hummingbird. The Costas hummingbird can flap its wings 50 times per second. Just like the bees we met earlier, it's also a pollinator. It also takes pollen from one flower to another. Let's see if we can beat our wings 50 times per second. Let's see how fast we can go. Oh, I'm not very fast at all. This is definitely not 50 times per second. See if you can beat me. Go a little bit faster. It's hard to be as fast as a hummingbird. They are so tiny and so light. What is next? Ooh, the California lyre snake. This is another thing that you might see in San Diego, but it also lives out in the desert. So we're gonna move like a snake. We're gonna slither through the rocks. Slither through the rocks. And it's pretty camouflaged, isn't it? That means it's really hard to spot because it's got colors that look similar to the rocks that it lives in. All right, I think we just have 1 or 2 animals left. Oh, another bee. The males of this bee are so fluffy and fuzzy that people call it a teddy bear bee. So let's get those buzzers ready. And we are going to do some more pollinating.
Miss Emma, with this fun bee, you can even burrow into wood too, because they are known to do that, which is pretty neat.
They use their mouths, right?
I think so.
You want to show us how it's done, Lauren?
No.
All right, so Lauren's showing us how to burrow into wood using our mouths. Did you know that bees live in wood? Or are they looking for food?
They can live there. Pretty cool.
Wow. That must be why they're called the carpenter bee. Carpenters work with wood.
I think so.
All right, another lizard. So the granite spiny lizard also does push-ups. You can go ahead and get down on the ground and do some push-ups. I'll just do mine right here, just a little bit easier. And they also do some skimpering around. They move very, very fast. And we'll do a few more push-ups. And in this picture, you can see the lizard is on some granite. Does it look like it camouflages there? A lot of lizards are hard to spot, not all of them.
It's pretty colorful. They have to hide away in some cracks to stay safe, I think.
Yes. Should we go hide in a crack? We'll skimper over and hide. Scamper and hide. Scamper and hide. Scamper and hide. All right. Great job. Thank you so much for coming on this journey from the coast to the desert with me. I had so much fun moving like animals. It's a nice way to start the day with a little bit of movement.
Thank you, Miss Emma. That was really fun. Got our blood pumping, and we went from the beach to the desert in the same day. There's so many different cool animals, and it was very entertaining. So thank you. I had a lot of fun doing all my movements here.
Well, thank you. Have a great day and enjoy celebrating California's biodiversity.
Thanks. You too.